in the bed, not on some type of table on some UFO, you know. I mean, whatever. My penis might be old, but I want it attached to my body. How's that?
Yeah, and I don't want to wake up next to you as far as that
goes. Me either. So anyway, Rob, it's been a blast like always, and we'll talk to you again in the future.
Thank you very much, Gary. It was a lot of fun, really.
Okay. You have a great week.
You too, sir.
Okay, my friend. Well, James, we're going to be back, and we're going to be talking, I think, Ray Tesi, and we're going to be talking about fan-based shows like Star Trek, where they create their own Star Trek, and it continues, and what it's like to have a studio, and what it's like to be involved doing it. So we'll be back in 3 minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio with me, Gary. What can I say? We'll be back.
Scintillas in the stream, hoping for what's true. I'm trawling for honor in this shallow pool. Borealis starlit crown arches over the Puget Sound. His hair treats the horizon to there is my lucky star tonight, the seventh sister of the Pleiades. Walks in beauty like the night, oh, that is best, dark and now lost to me. Only trust in the northern star, that's the only point that's fixed. I once believed in love, even love cannot bridge this rift.
Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Well, I'll tell you what, James, it makes me wonder, you know, is it safe to even go get a pack of cigarettes? Well, I don't know. These abductions, people disappearing all over, you know, law enforcement, military. What protection do we have?
Right, so you might as well not worry about it. Just do what you got to do. I do know that I do have a protocol procedure and plan. If that happens to me, probably won't work, but, you know, I go down fighting. If I can, somebody's going to get in a judo full guillotine sleeper hold, but probably going to be me being stuck and froze, but at least I want to try.
Hey, Ray, we're right here on Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine, Gary. How are you?
I am doing good. Now, where is your studio located at?
Well, the studio's located in Kingsland, Georgia, which is very southern Georgia, just over the Florida border.
Oh, wow. Now, you've been into Star Trek, I guess, just like me from the very beginning.
Yeah, I was 12. Well, I shouldn't admit it, but I was 12 years old in 1966, and I've been a fan ever since.
Oh, yeah. Sounds pretty much like me. You must be pretty much close to my age. We both were born when they invented the wagon wheel.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of changes in our lifetime.
So, again, you have a studio. It's set up to look like, well, the Enterprise, correct?
Well, it is. We've renamed it because I felt that the Enterprise belonged to another generation, not to coin a phrase. But it is. It's actually in the same footprint as Paramount Studios would have been in 1966.
Oh, wow. How hard was it to create, Ray, a studio like that? I mean, you must have got the blueprints and to build each thing and set it up. I mean, I'm looking at pictures of it. I mean, I can say it's probably just as good, or if not better, than what the original studio was at Desi Lou Arnaz Studios. Desi Lou Studios.
I'm gonna confess, I've inherited the studio. But the studio started to be built about 15 years ago. And originally it was just a couple of sets in a very small building just outside of Kingsland. And it was started for a fan film called Starship Farragut. And shortly after Farragut was born, a gentleman by the name of Vic Mignogna.
Oh, he's been on my show.
Yes, he has. I know he has. And Vic came in and helped out one of their productions. And long story short, he found themselves a bigger building and built out the full studio that you see online now. So that's been built over the course of probably maybe 5 or 6 or 7 years, and then Vic shot Star Trek Continues there from about 2012 or 13 right up until 2017.
Oh, yeah.
And that's sort of when I got into the picture.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Mark Cushman thinks very highly of you and Vic.
Well, well, that's nice to know. I appreciate that.
Now, do you know who Mark Cushman is?
Well, I know of Mark. I've never met Mark, but I know he's very associated with Star Trek and Continues, I believe.
Oh, yeah. He wrote the original, book about Star Trek.
Yes.
He got all the notes from Roddenberry and all this stuff. It shared all the notes with him. I tell you, I always thought Star Trek was canceled because of the ratings. That wasn't it at all. And the show was doing really well. I mean, but to see what you have and what Vic has done and other people have done to make fan-based, videos of, continuing on with Star Trek or similar to it. Have you came under your studio any heat from CBS by any chance?
Long story short, no. I bought the studio in January of 2018, and I can't say I worked with CBS, but I wanted to make sure that before I opened the studio, I understood what my parameters would be. And they've allowed me to open it to the public, and we do have what we call fan appreciation weekends. We're going to start something I hope a little bit different coming up in 2020, and to continue to allow groups to come in and make fan films. There are some restrictions, but that's okay. I can work within, all kinds of guidelines. But they have they have allowed me to continue to do what I really wanted to do.
Yeah, it was a shame when Vic, stopped doing it, because I tell you what, I only became familiar with Vic after Mark, told me about Vic, and then had Vic on my show. And then I started reviewing some of his films, videos of what he was doing. And I hate to say it, it was just as good quality as the original, if not better.
Well, you shouldn't hate to say it, because that's probably one of the best compliments that you could give. And I found I'm a Star Trek fan in just about every permutation that Star Trek could be in. I know there's always factions that say one type is better than another, but I'm a Star Trek fan, and I found Continues in 2013, right after they put out their first, I guess we call them webisodes now, can't call them episodes, with Michael Forrest recreating Apollo, and I just fell in love with it. And I went to a local convention down here, I believe it was SuperCon in Miami, and Vic was appearing, and I made my way to go talk to him, because I thought what he had done was wonderful. And he was very magnanimous, and, we kind of talked on and off for a couple of years, and then found my way somehow into the studio.
How did your studio fall into your, into your lap? That's my curiosity. I know that you're a big fan of Star Trek, but to be a big fan to owning a studio and giving tours on the weekends and just, have you ever had, curiosity, William Shatner there?
No, so there are some restrictions that we have, and some of it is the talent that we would bring in. So we've had, some guests, most of them from Star Trek Continues. Because actually, they're what's probably best known. We've had Vic, we've had Chris Doohan, we've had Michelle Speck, but we've also had people like, probably recognize some names, Judy Burns, who wrote The Tholian Web, and also Bijou Trimble and her husband John, who are sort of accredited the people who saved Star Trek after it was canceled in the second season. So we do have some restrictions, which is fine. So no, we have not had any of the original cast there. That's not to say we haven't met them, and I guess that's not true. I should correct myself. We did have Nichelle Nichols, who came to the studio to film a sizzle reel for a movie that they want to create about her life. And so Nichelle has been to the studio and has actually filmed there. But, again, with some restrictions, it's generally just open to the public, and, as many local guests as we can get.
Wow. How has it been? I mean, do you got people going across the country coming to check it out?
Yeah, I mean, we've had people coming in from as far as California, so it's across the country for us, right? And from all parts, Midwest, Southwest, Southeast, Northeast. And it's actually amazing. I did the first fan weekend in October of last year, and I was shocked. We had something like 1,200 or 1,500 people.
Oh wow!
Show up, and to me, that's the best. That's the best compliment that I could get, is that I put something out there that people want to see.
Well, how out of that 1,100 people showed up, how many of them were dressed up as Trekkies?
I would probably say maybe 50%. there's a lot of pictures that people publish online, and they come